Okay then guys, welcome back. I'm going to do a full overview and all cycles and options on this Indesit, get on the model number there, IWB71251 washing machine. So let's start off with the top. We got here, if I move the camera around a little bit, just make out the number there. It says white cotton at 90. Turn it on. So you just turn it on with this big power on button and then everything lights up. Okay, so you can just about see. Bring you in a little bit more. Okay, that'll do for now. So we've got white cotton at 90. Okay, this is variable from cold, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 degrees, and obviously all the way up to the hottest, which is of course a 90. Okay, so you've got eco time, which you can't have, but eco time will shorten the time down by half of its length. Only on some programs though, not all of them. Energy saver, that switches the heater off, so that's basically a cold wash. So if you did have it to 90 degrees or 70 or 60 or 50, or any of these ones from 20, 30 all the way up to 90, it'll actually do a cold wash. So if you did have it at 90, the heater would not engage anyway if you selected energy saver. Spin variation, so this is obviously a 1200 RPM model. You can then go down to 600 RPM by pressing that button. The interim spins are limited, so if you do the first interim spin, is meant to be 600 RPM. The interim spin, it limits it down to 400 RPM, and then the second one is 600, and the final spin is 600 RPM as well. And then the final option on here then is the delay timer. So we've got 3, 6, 9 hours, or even up to 12 hours. I have used 12 hours before. I've used 3 hours before. I've used 6, but I've never used 9. I have used 12 though on a very early video though. Program 2. This is your cotton standard 60 degrees. If you have no options selected, this will do the A+ cycle. So it's your A rated. You get an A spin and also an A wash as well. You can have eco time. That's one of the ones you can have eco time. This will shorten the time down from 3 hours and 15 minutes to 2 hours 5, or about 2 hours. You can have energy saver. As I mentioned in a previous video, you can either have one or the other. You can't have them both together. Okay, so you can have eco time or energy saver. You can't have them both together. With energy saver selected, again, that's basically a cold wash. It would still take, if you were to put a full load in, it would still take about 3 hours, because it will run a cold wash at 3 hours. So even if you had that selected to 60, like I said in the 90, it will still do a cold wash. And again, you can have spin variation, delay timer. Okay. Program 3 then, cotton standard 40. Again, this is basically a standard 40 program. It's like 60, but at 40 degrees. It's basically the same. Yeah, you can have one option or the other. This cycle is shorter than the cotton 60 cycle, as you presume. With eco time selected, instead of taking 3 hours and 5 minutes, it will now take about 1.5 hours, so 1 hour 30. It actually cuts the time in half on that one. Again, energy saver can be selected. Again, cold wash, it will do a cold wash instead of 40 degrees. And you can have spin variation and delay timer. These two are selectable on any cycle, okay? Program 4 then is synthetics at 50. Okay, this will do 50 degrees. I forgot to mention as well, program 1 will do 7 kilos, program 2 7, program 3 7, and 4 shit, knocked the camera over. Bloody hell, I'm knocking things over already. This cycle here, program 4, synthetics at 50, will take a 5 kilogram load at 50 degrees. Okay, eco time. If you didn't have that selected, it would do a full load, 5 kilos. It would take 2 hours and 30 minutes. With that selected at 50 degrees, it will take 1 hour and 20 minutes. Cold wash, again, That will take, with no options at cold, it would take 2 hours 15. With energy saver selected, with cold selected, it will take, I think, about 2 hours still. So this one really doesn't cut the time in half. But when you have it on 90 and have energy saver selected, it's still 2 hours 40 something. It's absolutely insane. Again, you can have either options all the way around. Program 5 then, the most used cycle on this Indesit. Let me just bring you around a little bit. It would just bring you out, it'd just be easier. And then I can get the whole lot in. Okay, mixed colours at 40 degrees. Okay, that's at 40 degrees. Again, it's pretty much the same as most of these. Daily, you can have pretty much any cycle the way round. Now, if you were to press start, you can see that 3-hour light is flashing, but obviously the door lock's going to flash in a minute because the door's not locked. Okay, it will flash and then it will... So if you have it actually on 12 hours... Okay. Ooh. If you actually have it on 12 hours, it will go 12. And once it gets down to 3 hours, that light will then flash and then that one will flash. And it will basically go from 12, 9, 6, 3, and then it will start. But it's exactly the same way round as it is for the whole daily cycle. Okay. Program 6 then, your cotton standard 20 program. This cycle is for lightly soiled items at 20 degrees. It will run an A cycle, an A-rated 20 degree cycle. I don't know how that works. It's just what it says in the manual. I'm reading out of the manual behind me with all the programs here as well. It's for lightly soiled items. Will run an A wash at 20 degrees. This cycle will last for approximately 2 hours and 50 minutes. You can't have eco time and you can't have energy saver. But again, you can have these two are standard. Program 7 then. Mix light at 20 degrees. This is for medium soil items that can be washed for a 4 kilogram load up to 20 degrees and a 1200 RPM final spin. You can't have eco time and you can't have energy saver. Either one are not selectable. Nope. You can have a spin variation and you can have delay timer. This one will approximately last 2 hours and 5 minutes. Program 8 then, one of my cycles that get the most views on my channel, the 20 refresh cycle. One of the cycles that actually does get the most views on my channel. This one is for very lightly soiled items. Can take 2.5 kg and will wash in 20 degrees water and a final spin speed of 800 RPM, all in 20 minutes. You can't have eco time, you can't have energy saver, you can have a spin variation from 800 to 600, and of course again you can have delay timer. Special then, this is the special side, and these are special programs according to this machine. You've got outwear. This program will allow you to wash up to 40 degrees, excuse me, with lightly soiled or medium soil. It depends on what you want, medium or light. You can't have eco time. You can have energy saver though, so it will do a cold wash. You can have a spin variation from 800 down to 600 RPM, and of course you can have a delay timer. This cycle will approximately last about 1 hour and 10 minutes. With energy saver selected, same, it's 1 hour and 10 according to the manual. Program 10 then, the Woollens, one of my favourite cycles due to distribution and no balancing sensors, or so it says. This is a 40 degree wool wash. Woollens items, it will wash up to 4 kilograms. Okay. You can't have eco time, you can't have energy saver, but weirdly you can have a spin variation even though the final spin is 600 RPM, which actually is very bizarre because the final spin is only 600 RPM, so I don't know why spin variation is selectable, sorry, when in the manual it states 600 RPM. That's a bit weird. That cycle will last approximately 1 hour and 5 minutes with cold at 20, and you can have up to 40. It depends on what you want. Okay, Jeans, one of my cycles that I like to use when I wash jeans. I like to wash my jeans in this machine quite a lot. Because it's got gene cycle, and some of the other machines don't have gene cycles nowadays. It's quite a useful feature. This goes up to 40 degrees. Okay, you can't have eco time, but I know you can have energy saver, so you can do a cold wash. Can have a spin variation. The final spin is 800 RPM, and of course, again, you can have a delay timer. Oh, excuse me. This cycle is built for jeans only. It does 800 RPM at 5 kilos. Ooh. Get a grip. Dial's really loose on this machine. Sports intensive then at 30 degrees. I don't know why it's at 30 degrees. I think it should be at 40 or 50 or even 60 degrees. Sports intensive, I think, really should be 60 degrees, but there we go. It's at 30 degrees. This cycle does a pre-wash. For any of you guys who don't own an Indesit or a Hotpoint, sports intensive, I think mainly on Indesits do a pre-wash. I don't know if they've got it on most Hotpoints. So program 12 is sports intensive. Can't have eco time. Can't have energy saver because obviously it will heat up to 30. You can have a spin variation from 800 down to 600, and of course you can have a delay timer. Now this is designed for a 4 kilogram heavily soiled items like PE kit or rugby kits. Okay, Sports Light again at 30 degrees. Sports Light does not do a pre-wash. Okay, Sports Light does not do a pre-wash. Okay, can't have it eco time. You can't have energy saver. You can have a spin variation down from 800 to 600, and again, our delay timer is available. Program 14 then. Special shoes at 40 degrees. This is the only cycle in the sports section that will do 40 degrees. This program, I'm going to read out the manual what it says. This cycle is designed for 2 pairs of shoes at a minimum level of 40 degrees. You can't have eco time, can't have energy saver, spin variation down from 800 to 600, and of course you can have a delay timer. Okay, that's all of the programs. Now we're going to do the partial programs, as I call them. So we got rinse and spin. Obviously this will be at cold. Okay, this is at cold. And of course you can't have eco time, you can't have energy saver, you can have a spin variation, and of course you can have delay timer. Final spin, this is a 1200 RPM, so you can't have eco time, again you can't have energy saver. It would be funny to have an energy saver one. I wish that would be available. That would be quite funny to see what it does. You can have obviously the spin variation, and of course you can have a delay timer. So I've shown you all the programs and options on this Indesit washing machine. I'm going to show you the drum. So this, don't worry about this. This was actually glue, so don't worry about that. This, because the old door lock fell out. So this is a 7 kg drum, okay. You got a nice door on this one, okay. Let me bring the camera out a little bit. So you got a nice door, nice clonk on the door. Again, this machine originally came with a pin one, but I changed the pin to screws, obviously. You get a nice door angle, only in my way there's a door here. That would open up more, okay, but in my case there is a drawer there. Door, sorry. I'm going to bring up, show you the detergent drawer. I know it's a bit grimy, I'm going to clean that out today as well. That's my job for today. Turn that off now. So you got section 1. As you can see, it's quite clearly labelled 1, 2, but it doesn't have 3, but you just get the softener symbol in there. Quite understandably, that is built for softener. So this one's pre-wash, bog standard pre-wash, main wash, and fabric softener. Okay, so that is all of the programs and options and a general overview. Just to let you guys know, the filter is down here. Okay, so the filter's there and can be changed at any time. Big drum for families up to 4, but I suggest if you've got a family of 4, 8, 9 or even a 10 kilogram drum would be good. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. That was all of these cycles and options on my Indesit IWB71251 washing machine and a general overview of it. This machine will be going very shortly due to damaged drum bearings. It's got the shocks are absolutely gone, and also the bearings have now failed. I think I'm going to strip this machine down for parts because I think I'm going to sell the actual boards because this is all fine. I might sell the motor. The motor's fine. The brushes are fine. They were replaced 2 years ago, so they're fine. So when this machine goes, I'm probably going to sell parts like the door lock because that's actually fine. That's just been modified. So the door's absolutely fine. There's no real movement in the door apart from when I do it. So yeah, thank you very much guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. General overview of my Indesit IWB71251. Hope you guys stay subscribed because the new machine will be soon available. I'm going to give a little bit more detail on it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers guys.